Hi everyone, my name is Bhavani with Mind, Body, Spirit, and I am chatting to our wonderful presenters who are hosting workshops with us at the end of May at the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival at the Olympia in London. Today I'm joined by the wonderful Naomi Buff, who's hosting a workshop with us called Manifesting Miracles. Tell us all about it. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, firstly, thank you so much. And I'm super excited about hosting this masterclass. Manifestation is something that we do all the time, every day of our life. Every thought that we have has an impact on something that we create. So, for example, you might know this to be true if you've woken up late and you're rushing against the clock and you're like, oh my God, like this is going to be a really bad day now. And then you like a string of things just keep happening that go wrong because
Yeah.
you've woken up in that energy that, oh, today's going to be awful. And then everything else that follows is a manifestation of that thought that's created from that action. So
Mm.
we're manifesting with every single thing that we're doing. Okay. If we sometimes like we'll think about a person and all of a sudden they will call, and that's no coincidence. That's like the law of attraction, the manifestation energy of it. So what my masterclass is about is it's really about like teaching people about what manifestation actually is and how we can use it on a day-to-day basis to get really intentional about the life that we want to create. And like one of the things that like I'm really passionate about is just teaching like self-awareness and
Mm.
just to be aware of like what we're thinking, because we have, I think, something like, is it 70,000 thoughts a day, something around that. And
I feel like it might be more now. That was the traditional research, but I feel like that was before we were as bombarded as we are now by social media.
yeah,
But yeah, that's the number, 70,000.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like a high percentage of those are what we thought yesterday. And then
Mm.
a very high percentage of that is negative. I can't remember what the actual figures are, and I don't want to say with that accuracy, but it's very much up there. So
Mm.
like when we get like really intentional about what we're thinking and the impact what that has a really big and powerful impact on our life. So yeah,
Mm.
teaching all of this manifestation.
I love that you mentioned actually talking about what manifestation is, because a lot of the time people go straight into the world of manifestation with some preconceptions, some ideas of what they think it is, and they're like, right, they think it's like a wishing well, or how am I gonna have a little magic spell to make things happen? But that's not actually what it is, right?
No, not at all. It's and a lot of people are also put off. They think, oh, manifestations woo woo, and it's just for the spiritual people. But
Mm.
that's not true either. So, what I want to share is like you can manifest whether you're scientific or whether you're spiritual. It, there's no label to say that you can or you can't do it. It's
Mm.
available to absolutely every single person. And I'm very spiritual, but I understand the scientific elements to it. I won't go over that in my workshop because it doesn't get me excited. So you'll see me from going really passionate to like my energy will drop as soon as I start to get scientific. But I do touch on like a few points, and I do give reference to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who very much is all about that scientific element. So whilst I won't teach it, I will, for the ones that are going, I need a little bit more on this, I'll
Yeah.
give them the direction for where they can feed that element of their brain that needs to understand the nooks and crannies of it for them to be able to bring it into their life.
Oh, that's really exciting. I really love this. So what is it that you are going to be doing in your workshop, in case everyone's thinking, okay, well, how do we go further, and what are we going to be doing with Naomi in the workshop? What is it that you're going to be covering? Because it's not just a talking workshop that you're doing, is it?
No, not at all. Because I think it's a 90-minute workshop to start off with. And if it was just me like chatting for 90 minutes, I think everybody would be like, right, we need something a little bit more. And the way that I love to teach and present is to mix things up, to add like a little variety into it, and a little bit of this is how it would look in your actual life. Because there's one thing hearing something, and then there's the other thing that is like, but how does this work for me? How can I make this work in my everyday life? Because like manifestation, it isn't like a one-hit wonder. You can't just go, well, like today I'd really like to go to Costa Rica, and then all of a sudden, boof, like abracadabra, oh look, there's a holiday to Costa Rica. Like, it doesn't work like that. There's a process that goes through it. So in the workshop, I'll be talking about like what exactly it is, how it works, when it doesn't work as well, because sometimes we start to manifest and it's like, well, one sec, I've just asked for that. I've done all of the things that that girl said, but this isn't working for me. So there are elements that can prevent us for stepping into our manifestation. It's really, really important, actually, just to understand all elements of it, how to use it on a daily basis and what impact it can have. So the different things that we'll be doing like a little bit of cacao. I'll be teaching how to create a bulletproof morning routine, how to create consistency, connection, and commitment. I believe that those 3 C's are really, really key, not only for manifesting, but if there's anything that we want in our life, we have to have those 3 elements. And whilst it's really powerful and important in terms of manifestation, it's something that we can implement with every single thing and every area of our lives. So I'll be teaching that as well. And then I'll be bringing, I do sound therapy as well. And so I'll be doing some meditation and a little bit of sound with the cacao. So it's going to be a really fun, workshop that's going to have lots of different elements, education, inspiration, and some practical hands-on what you can do. So people will go away armed with the toolbox of what they can do on a day-to-day basis to make this a part of their everyday life, so that they can start to see all of the miracles rolling in.
Yeah, I love it. So it's really making it something tangible that we can already dive into from the workshop itself and then turn into a daily practice, which is what's really lovely about the workshops that we host at Mind Body Spirit, that they have this longevity. It's not just for when they're in the room. Tell us, actually, why should people be joining you in the room at the festival, especially now that we have the ability to access so much stuff online and in our own time? Why should everyone be joining you in the room, Naomi?
Why should you join me in the room? Because I'm so passionate about what I do and I love everything I do. And I just know this is going to be super, super powerful. Manifestation is really close to my heart because 3 years ago, my whole life completely fell apart. My marriage fell apart, and I was literally, and obviously we had COVID as well, and there were a whole cocktail of other things that were thrown into the mix. But I was literally at my lowest of low, and it was like my daily practices, it was manifestation, and it was a whole root of other elements I brought in that really turned my life around. And I'm really passionate about sharing it because it's had such a huge impact on my life, and I just want people just to understand that it doesn't matter where you are on your journey, it's accessible to everybody. So it'd be amazing. I've got so much passion about it, and I get
definitely. And would you be able to share one tip that everyone can already begin to put into practice from today, from your huge toolkit of things that you use and that you'll be sharing in the workshop? Can you already share a tip that people can do today that they can get prepared for your workshop as well?
Okay, yep, sure. So manifestation, the way to manifest in a proactive way is it depends on like what vibration we're in. Okay, so like as I shared in the example, if we're in like a bad vibration, so if we're like, oh my god, like today's going to be awful, we're going to manifest more of the same. So I mean, there's so many pressures and stresses that are coming from all angles and directions.
Yeah.
So one thing that we can do, like instantly, to shift our state into the state of manifestation, into the heart space, is gratitude. So if you say 3 things or 5 things that you're grateful for right now, or however you're feeling, it will instantly lift you. And you can start just to play around and practice that. How does it feel how do I feel now on a scale of 1 to 10? So if you're in a bad mood, it might be, oh, well, I'm at a 3. And then you do 3 or 5 things that you're grateful for. And then you're like, oh, actually, now I'm at a 5. So sometimes like we can look, it's like looking at the gap and the gain. Like you can see where you are and where you want to be. It's like, well, that's really hard. That's really like far. But if we actually just start to look at those 2% shifts, gradually are moving upwards, that's where we have like much more impact.
It's true. People tend to want to make leaps, and there are certain things where we do have those leaps, but then when we aren't able to maintain those leaps, then we tend to berate ourselves. But if we're looking at those incremental improvements, and it's going to make that real long-term impact in our lives. Oh, thank you so much for chatting to me and spending a little bit of time on here going into what you're going to be doing in your workshop in a little bit more detail. I really appreciate you taking the time. Let everyone know when your workshop is and when they can join you.
Oh, okay. So I will be at Mind, Body, Spirit in the Workshop Village on Monday, the 29th of May at 3:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Please come and join, and it will change your life.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you next month. Everyone get your tickets. You've got the ticket at the bottom of our screen here where you can book your tickets. Also head to our website, to Naomi's website and socials, where you can get the links too. Looking forward to being with you all then. Thank you, Naomi. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.